Continue. Play story. Play as Hansel and Gretel. Back.
Once upon a time, there were two
Double
children,
tap to select.
and their names were Hansel and Gretel. They lived in a cottage on the edge of the woods with their mother and father. The father's name was Rolf, and he was a woodcutter. The mother's name was Margaret, and she was a cook and homemaker. Even though they were poor, they had enough to eat, and they were always cheerful. Hansel was strong, and Gretel was...
Bored!
Who said that?
Me, Gretel. Can't you get on with it? You've been rabbiting on for ages and nothing's happened.
Yeah, get to the action.
But you're characters. You only get to talk when I let you.
Not in this story. We'll talk when we feel like it. What's more, the reader is going to decide what happens.
What? The reader makes decisions? They can do that?
You bet they can. So get on with it and give them something to decide.
Oh, all right. Hansel and Gretel were looking for blackberries. They had picked all the ones near their house, so they had to go farther out. But their parents had warned them not to go too deep into the woods, because there were dangerous creatures in there. They were farther from home than they'd ever been before. It was getting gloomy, but they had an hour before full dark. They were nervous, but they really wanted to find some berries to take home. They thought they could see some bushes a little farther down the trail, but it got dark as the trees grew thicker, and they couldn't be sure what was in there. What do you think they should do?
Return home. Go on into the woods.
Back. Header. Hansel and return home. Go on into the
The trail led into the woods. The bush they saw had lots of thorns, but no fruit. They thought they could see another bush, so they kept walking. They came to a fork in the path, and there was a signpost at it. One sign said, "To a house made of the most delicious gingerbread you have ever tasted." And the other said, "To the house of the incredibly big, ugly, evil ogre who eats children." I don't remember that in this story. Well, I don't suppose it's going to take long for you to make this decision.
Gingerbread house. Ogre's house.
ogre's house. Gingerbread house.
Hansel and Gretel walked down the path until they came to a very strange cottage. The walls were very round-looking and a light orange-brown colour, and there was an odd, sweetish but spicy smell coming from them.
Stand back, Hansel. I know what's going on here. Yep, the house is made of gingerbread.
How did you know that? I haven't read that bit yet.
Do you think you're the first one to tell this story? It's been done thousands of times.
Besides, it was on the signpost. It's not exactly a surprise.
Well, you don't need me then. I'll just go and have a cup of tea.
No, wait. There are always variations to a story. We want to know how you handle it.
Well, all right then. Hansel and Gretel were very hungry, so they kept eating the gingerbread house until they thought they would burst. Then they lay down and fell asleep. When they awoke, they were tucked up snugly in bed. A little old lady was watching them. She had a round, kindly face and a lovely smile, which would have been even more beautiful if she'd had more than one tooth.
Awake at last. What a big sleep you had. Welcome to my humble abode, you lovely little children.
Who are you?
I'm Brunhild. I'm the owner of the house you spent hours eating last night.
Oh, sorry about that. We were just so hungry. Are you going to punish us?
Yes, I'm going to punish you by making you stay with me and eat lots of sweets and biscuits.
That doesn't sound like much of a punishment.
Well, you know that if you eat too many sweets, you'll get fat.
Then we'll just leave and start eating healthy food and getting lots of exercise.
Oh, I'm afraid you can't do that. If you go through that door without me removing the spell, you'll turn into pumpkins.
So we just stay here eating sweets and getting fatter forever?
Oh, goodness me, no. I wouldn't do that to you. When you're fat enough, I'll cook you and eat you.
What?
Well, I am a wicked witch, my dear.
But you look so kind and gentle and sweet.
That's a very good lesson for you to learn, young lad. You can't always trust appearances. Pity it's too late to do you any good.
Grunhilde went into her pantry and started rummaging through the shelves. She had her back to the children, and the door was wide open. What should they do?
Run out the door. Eat candy.
Eat candy.
Hansel and Gretel ate candy and slept for the next week. This lifestyle did not go unnoticed in their body mass index. Then, when they were alone for a moment, Hansel suddenly spoke.
Gretel, I have a plan. You mean a plan other than to keep on eating candy until we're fat enough to be eaten?
Yes, look, I found a leaf of spinach in the bottom of my pocket. Remember Mother made it the last night we were home? I wouldn't eat it, so I hid it in my pocket.
So
I'll eat it. Maybe eating something healthy in this house will make something magic happen.
And that's the plan, is it?
Well, it's better than eating more sweets.
I'm not sure about that.
What should Hansel do?
Eat more sweets. Eat the spinach.
Pause button. Rewind. Eat the spinach.
Hansel ate the spinach. It worked. He felt himself growing stronger, his muscles swelling till he was stronger than the strongest man alive. He saw how they could get out. The spell turned them into pumpkins if they went through the door. So they wouldn't go through the door. He was so strong he could knock a hole in the wall. Hansel punched the wall, and with one blow, he opened a hole big enough for the children to get through. He took Gretel's hand, and they rushed for the hole. But Grunhilde had heard the noise. She stormed into the room with her wand out and turned Hansel into stone. All seemed lost, but Gretel to the rescue. Gretel had kept eating candy until she couldn't take any more. At that very moment, she spewed up all over the floor. Grunhilde was still running, and she slipped in the mess and fell over and banged her head. With her unconscious, the spell was broken, and Hansel came back to life.
Thanks, sis. Good work.
Told you it was a good plan to keep eating candy.
So, what do we do now? Punish the witch. Forgive the witch. Go home to Mother and Father.
Pause button. Rewind. Go home. Forgive the witch. Punish the witch. Forgive the witch.
Do you think we should forgive her?
Let's wake her up and talk to her. Maybe she just needs a friend.
Yes, it must get lonely out here in the woods. Maybe if we offer to be her friends, she won't be mean anymore.
Oh! Huh? What happened?
You slipped over and bumped your head.
Yes, I remember now. I was trying to eat you. I suppose you're going to kill me now.
No, we think maybe you're just misunderstood. We want to be your friends.
Oh, that's so sweet. Nobody's ever been my friend before. I'm going to be a good witch from now on and devote my life to creating peace and harmony.
The witch cast a special spell to bring Mother and Father to the cottage. The children explained what had happened, and they all had big hugs. The family visited the witch regularly, and they all ate lashings of gingerbread together. And the moral of the story is too much sweetness in one go can make you want to vomit. The end.
The end. Hansel and Gretel. Header. Settings. Back. Play story. Play as Hansel and Gretel. Play as the witch. Back. Button. Back.
It's not
Button.
easy being a
Double tap
witch,
to
you know.
select.
There's a lot of prejudice about. People are always suspicious of things they don't understand. They don't want to see the good that we do. Love potions, crop blessings, vampire control. Where would this village be without me? But do I get any thanks for it? No. It's always burning torches and pitchforks and quite impolite language. It's not fair. Why do they hate me so?
I think it's probably the eating little children bit that people object to.
Well, everyone has their little foibles. Who asked you anyway?
You did. You said, why do they hate me so?
It was rhetorical. You weren't supposed to answer. Now clear off. This is my part of the story. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Those children have just fallen asleep after eating too much of my gingerbread house. I'll bring them in and tuck them up in bed. And then feed them lots of sweets until they're fatty enough to eat. I will eat you all up. You again? I told you this is my part of the story.
Just a point of clarification. I checked the rules. Unfortunately, you're right that you don't have to listen to me. But you do have to obey the reader. Before you eat those children, you have to get the reader's permission.
What? Oh, no. That's okay. I can tell that the reader is smart and sympathetic and reasonable and so good-looking, too. You wouldn't be mean to your old pal Grunehilde, would you? You wouldn't let me get these lovely children into the house and then make me let them go, would you? Please say I can eat them. Eat Hansel and Gretel. Let them go.
Pause button. Rewind. Let them go.
Oh, what a meanie! That's so unfair. I'm starting to think you just don't like witches who eat little children. Well, I have to obey you and let them go. But, you know, witches don't always tell the truth. I was lying before when I said you were smart and good-looking. You are actually really horrible. But one last thing before I go. Think about this. The next time your parents are making you do homework instead of watching TV, I could have turned them into pumpkins for you, if you'd been nice to me. But now I won't, and you'll have to keep on having boring old human parents. So there!
The end.
Speech on. 14 minutes. Stop recording video.